Man, this whole David situation rabbit hole has been absolutely crazy. I'm not going to lie, there's so much information that has been coming out and theories that have been coming out. It's been kind of hard to keep up with it all, but I'm doing my best to keep you guys informed on this situation. And today I want to talk about this guy who is kind of going viral over on X for tweets that he has been making where he claims that he had been trying to expose David since all the way back in 2023. At the time, this guy who was trying to expose him was only 16 years old. He's been catching heavy backlash online with people doubting his explanation of things, right? It's a highly interesting situation, so I wanted to talk about it today. So his name is Ingleezy. That's his at least over on X. And he started posting tweets about this back on like September 17th. He started with this right here that said, "David, what the man?" And then he posted this where he said, "I've been trying to expose David since 2023. And he has some screenshots right here. Right now, to add context, this guy apparently was a member of David's Discord server. He was a fan. He ended up becoming friends with David somewhat. They shared conversations back and forth. They even did a song together at one point. But this guy noticed suspicious behavior way back in 2023 and pretty much was calling David out on it. So he posted this up and it's got these screenshots, right? And so the first screenshot shows these messages between this person, James Buttergun, and Ingleezy. And you can see James says he only adds underage girls. And Ingleezy says, "I know, right?" And James says, "I'm not joking either." He had a second screenshot with that where people continue to discuss it. The first message says, "David only talks to women from the server." Ingleezy says, "Oh, bro is a simp. Ha 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 ha." He said, for real, wow." And this person responded and said, "They're also usually 15 to 16 too." And Ingleezy responded with, "What the David is a PDF." And you can see by the timestamp on these messages, these were sent all the way back in March of 2023. He continued posting on X. He posted this picture right here up. It says, "David yet again with the 13-year-old. I have endless proof. It needs to be brought to the light," right? And then he went on to add context. He said, "As you guys know, I used to be friends with David. We did songs together. We're often associated with each other, etc., etc., etc. I just want to say from this day on, I will no longer associate myself with him and had no idea of the disgusting things that he was doing." He posted this tweet and then he later deleted it. Somebody called him out and said, "I love how he deleted this tweet." And he responded to that saying, "I deleted this tweet as to not confuse people. Yes, I knew about the stuff from 2023. However, most of it was brushed off. And even David himself reached out and said that the allegations weren't true. But it all makes sense now, right?" So people started calling him out saying, "If you knew about this stuff back in 2023, why didn't you say anything about it? Why are you waiting till now to come forward with these screenshots?" And so this guy actually made a video where he tries to explain away his situation, everything that went on. Apparently, he's not even from America. He's from Egypt. He was 16 at the time. And he says that David's legal team actually reached out to him and threatened him if he didn't stop speaking about this kind of stuff, spreading this information around. All right, I'll play that clip for y'all and then we'll talk about it a little bit more.
So obviously y'all have seen the current David situation. In this video, I just want to address some stuff. Now, a lot of people on Twitter are mad at me because in 2023, I tried to expose David for what he was doing at the time. And I just want to clear up that the stuff from 2023 was not about the Celeste girl that was obviously recently in the news. It's nothing to do with her. I didn't know about her. I didn't know she was 13. I maybe heard her name once or twice. I had nothing to do with her. The stuff I have from 2023 was nothing to do with Celeste. These were other girls, underage girls, that had claimed David had messaged them or had, relationships with them or, doing inappropriate things with them. And I want people to know that in 2023, I did try and bring the situation to light. And a lot of people remember, I was having a lot of shit for it. It got so bad that David's legal team had got in contact with me to remove everything. I've attached an email here that I received from his team in 2023. And basically, they removed my song with David from streaming services because apparently I was spreading misinformation. The thing is, after that, I got in touch with David and I was like, "Yo, are the claims true?" and all of this. And he was like, he literally said, "I've got it here." He said, "No, it's just some people trying to get clout. There's no evidence and stuff." After that, everything was shut down. Everything, no one else came out after that. So from my point of view, you guys need to understand that it did look like they were just claims. So a lot of people are asking me, why was I promoting a song in 2024 and 2025 that I had with David? It's because the claims that I had in 2023 were, put on hold. It's as if they didn't exist. I had no idea. I was told that they were false by David and his legal team. So after the whole situation happened, I actually actually felt bad for, spreading misinformation. I thought it was all fake. Obviously, with the stuff that's happened in the past 24 hours, I realized that, they're now real, and some people have come out to me and told me that, it was true. Not just that, but in 2023, when I made the claims, David's legal team did not want anyone to know that David was doing this type of stuff. So basically they blamed me and said that I was leaking music, but I wasn't leaking any music. They blamed me for leaking music. I was leaking the facts. So they just said that they're gonna blame me for leaking music. That's my punishment. My song is off. That's it. And you guys need to understand that I felt terrible. I felt like I was gonna ruin his career out. I felt like I was spreading misinformation for him. I felt disgusting, bro. I was like, I gave him claims that weren't true because from what it looked like to me, they weren't true. They were cleared and everything. No one else came out after that. But then obviously now it's a different story. That's why I was promoting the songs in 2024, 2025. I was cool with him. I wasn't like, friends with him and stuff, but I didn't have a problem with him. Little do I know that he hated me. He has me blocked on Twitter right now, and he's blocked me within the past 24 hours because I was not blocked prior to, everything happening. And also, I just want to add that I live in Egypt. I don't live in the US. I can't go to NYPD. I can't go to LAPD. I can't get in touch with the FBI. The stuff that I had was just Discord messages. I didn't have any solid evidence that he did it. But now obviously looking at it, it makes sense. So I just wanted to clear it up because a lot of people think I'm doing it for clout and I'm doing it for this and I'm doing it for that. I'm just doing it because I felt the time was right, and I've been sitting on this information, and I'm just glad it's out now. I also want y'all to know that I was 16. I was a kid. I was scared. I didn't want any legal things to happen. I didn't want my family to get involved. I was a 16-year-old kid. I was petrified. But that's it, really. I just wanted to mention that I don't have anything to do with Celeste. I'm praying for her family. There's a GoFundMe link. It'll be in my comments. I'll try pin it. And at this time, we just need to pray for the best, and hopefully this dude gets what he deserves. And I'm so sorry for not speaking about this sooner. I was scared, and I'm doing what I can now.
So in that video, he put a couple of screenshots up on screen to try to validate his points. And one of those was this email right here that he received in 2023 in June. And it says, "Hi, Aeon, I represent David, and we requested that the track entitled Afraid of Myself, which features David, to be removed from streaming services. Not the whole album, but the song." And this is a song that this guy did with David back in the day. All right. He also posted this right here in the video, and it was just a message from him to David where he said, "Is this stuff people told me about you true?" And David said, "Nope, just some people trying to get clout by spreading false information." Right now, people seen this and they started giving this guy backlash online, saying that it kind of seems like he knew something about what was going on, but decided not to act on any of the information because David was willing to be his friend. David was willing to do music with him, right? Things like that. So he made this tweet right here where he said, "I made a song with David in 2022. I tried to expose him in 2023. So his label took the song down for spreading false information, and David told me that this was all just rumors. I put the song back up, but without David as a feature on it." Right, so he's trying to say that I didn't avoid what was happening and coming out with everything that I knew because David did music with me. I did that song with him back in 2022. I didn't try to expose him until a year later in 2023. But it shows that according to this guy, the label and David's legal team were working to actively try to smother these type of rumors or accusations about David, whether they were true or whether they weren't true. Right now, this kid also says that the people that he's seen David interacting with weren't necessarily Celeste, but they were other females that were younger than David, right? Other underage girls. And so he says that Celeste isn't the one that he was calling David out for talking to, but claims that there were more people that may be victims of David, right? Anyways, he went on to post another screenshot right here, and he says, "When user XLXMPXL tried to expose David before, this was David's response." And he's got a screenshot, and that screenshot has messages that David sent inside of his Discord server, and it says, "Wallahi, he's finished. I know what he leaked already. What you mean? We're literally preparing to sue him. Lamp is about to owe me $30,000. Our legal team is going bonkers right now." And so what this screenshot does is it not only kind of confirms that David was threatening to take legal action against people that were speaking out against his behavior, but it also proves that he was doing that to multiple people because, again, these messages right here aren't about Anglisi. These are about a separate user named Lamp who was apparently talking about this stuff too, right? He says Lamp is about to owe me $30,000. And Lamp, y'all might recognize from this message right here. He's the guy who asked A, who's the girl, and David told him, you are a Fed. Absolutely crazy stuff. So it looks like David, his team, his label, they were suppressing this information. They were stopping it from coming out, right? Inglesi went on, he posted more screenshots. He said, more screenshots I found from 2023 where it was mentioned that David was speaking to other minors. And he's got this screenshot right here where it says, nah, bro, now he's only adding females. This person responded and said, and they're all kids too. Inglesi responded and said, PDF David. Somebody responded to that and said he talks to, the name is marked out all the time and she's only 15, right? He continued, he posted this up. David posted pictures of him and Celeste to close friends on Instagram so the information they were dating wouldn't be made public. He posted this. It says, David had this to say about me in 2023, the first time I tried to bring this situation to light. And he's got a screenshot of David saying that Inglesi is the most out of touch human on the planet. Inglesi goes on, another message from David in 2023 when he blocked me after apparently my claims of him speaking to minors was false. And it's got this message. This message is somebody asking him, why did you block Inglesi? That dude is just a troll, but I assume this might be about unreleased music. And David responded and said, I love trolls, but that kid is unhinged. So these messages kind of confirm that him and Inglesi, they had some back and forth. Inglesi was trying to tell people back in 2023 that David was a suspicious character. He was exhibiting the behavior of a predator. He claims that, this all went away after he had asked David about it and David denied it. They started threatening legal action. They removed his song from streaming services. So he just kind of let it go. Again, he was a minor himself, only 16 at the time, getting threatened with legal action from a person that has, hundreds of thousands of dollars, a label behind him, a major law team behind him. I'm sure that could be scary. I've seen people giving him backlash online. I get it a little bit because you could have kept going. You could have brought this more to the light. But at the same time, you got to understand when somebody's hands are tied. At the end of the day, this guy was just a kid. He's not even from America. He's from Egypt. Things happen. And he wasn't the only one that was aware of what was going on. There were people around David that knew that this was going on. There were people in his Discord server, aside from Inglesi, that knew what was happening. Nobody said anything. Nobody reported anything. And I know everybody wants to put the blame on everybody else, but I do feel like sometimes we can get carried away trying to put the blame on everybody except the person who did the crime, right? David is to blame for everything that happened if he's guilty. And it looks like he probably is guilty. But I wanted to bring this to y'all today. Let y'all see this. This guy was trying to expose David all the way back in 2023. And it looks like the industry shut him down. Not only him, another guy who also tried to expose him back in 2023 got shut down with threats of lawsuits. It's absolutely crazy stuff for sure. But at this point, man, y'all gotta let me know what y'all think about this in the comments down below. I am out.